Tonight, all roads lead to Old Trafford. Arsenal are still in this title race. Draw, and Arsenal are still in this title race. Just lose, Andy?
Good start, thanks, Keezy. Yeah, I think that if they were to lose tonight, I think 9 points, 12 points to all intents and purposes it could possibly be, it's just too much. I think Arsène Wenger, although I think Arsène has been too quick at times over the last few seasons to concede that the title might be over should they lose a certain game, I think he would believe tonight that if Arsenal lose the football match that we're about to watch, then the mountain would just be too high to climb.
It's interesting then, isn't it, that Alex Ferguson considers Arsenal, despite all of that, the serious contenders in this race.
Well, I think that's respect, Richard, for what Arsenal have achieved. It's respect for Arsenal being over the last 3 or 4 years, with the exception of Newcastle, who've had that little flurry, have been Manchester United's main challengers and biggest threat. And I think that's a healthy respect from Alex. It's also a healthy respect from the fact that 2 years ago when they did the double and they needed to put an unbeaten run together, they were good enough to do that. The team was magnificent. I think 12 consecutive wins at the end of the season. They rode on to the title. And I don't know if this Arsenal side of this season is going to be good enough or consistent enough to put 12 wins together after this.
So if it's respect for Arsenal, what is it then for Leeds United, who lead at the moment, who are clear at the moment?
Listen, we know Alex for 7 or 8 years has played mind games with people and thought that so-and-so wasn't a worthy challenger. I think Alex has a healthy respect for what David O'Leary and his Leeds team have achieved so far this season. He must have a healthy respect for where they sit. 4 points clear, all right, 3 games in hand Alex's team have got, but they've still got to win those games to go above them. I think he will respect what they've done, and the more I've seen of Leeds, the more I've seen of this team, the more I think that they will last the pace. And I don't think they're going to fall away. I don't think they're going to do an Aston Villa. I don't think they're going to drift away.
They're beyond that wall that Villa hit, aren't they already? We saw them yesterday. We do still have a title race as a result of Leeds' win yesterday. You continue to be impressed by them then?
Yes, I was. I mean, all right, they lost 2 consecutive league games, and everyone started to say, that's it. The wobble's there. They start to drop. They came back and absolutely thrashed Manchester City 5-2 in the FA Cup tie we saw. They had a couple of weeks off. Came back yesterday against Sunderland, and they were absolutely tremendous. One of the big things about football is playing at pace and stopping the team play. They put Sunderland under so much pressure when they didn't have the ball. Their energy levels were absolutely fantastic. And I think that the little couple of weeks off has done them a world of good. That's why it might be relevant tonight when Manchester United, after quite a bit of rest, take on Arsenal, who have played and played and played.
And Jason Wilcox firing for Leeds United yesterday.
Yeah, it did. I mean, some goals are funny and you think you can take a lovely look at this one. I mean, Peter Reid went in with 5 in midfield, Richards, and as the first goal builds up here, you don't think there's a problem. They've got 3v2 at the back here, nice and comfortable, no real dramas, but it's up ahead. There's an awfully big gap in here. Reid's 5-man midfield has gone really up front and taken a real chance. And Kevin Kilban here, who was trying to play up the left-hand side, has obviously gone up trying to support Kevin Phillips. Whereas, and I think this player here, just watch him, he's the key to me, because if he's looking round now, he must surely see Lee Bowyer. And this is before the goal, remember. This is in the first couple of minutes. He must see Bowyer, who's about to make a run up here. But I don't think he looks at him, Richard, because he's just going to make a run sort of down this way. And as it builds up, you can see, look at Bowyer running, look at him. He thinks to himself, look, the arms started to go up. He's not even crossed the halfway line. But already he senses there's a game on. Steve Bold has just stayed his position, but cleverly, Harry Kewell has gone and attached himself to the fullback. And watch Kewell's run. This is as much, this run in here is as much for him as it is for himself. I think he's got a fair idea he's not going to get the ball, but by taking Michael Gray out of it, it allows Bridges to play not a great ball. He's had to check, he's had to take it back. If he'd have played it a couple more yards in front of him, I think we'd have hit the target at least. But this is about decision. Yet again, they've got plenty of players in there, Sunderland, but I think the wide right player has got a little bit detached from where he should be. As this throw-in's building up, Richard, really, he should be in a position round about here, in a position where he can see what's going on and just on the half-turn be aware of what's happening here. And also, the right back makes a bad decision. It's all about making decisions. Many times we heard Graham Souness talk about that. Defenders get paid by making decisions. Now watch the decision. As the ball just loops up in the air, he's no need to do this and go in there. No need, but he does. There he goes, there he goes. Now suddenly this guy has realised, oh, there might be a problem. And he starts now to make moves towards Wilcox. And this ball from Stephen McPhail was just exquisite. Outside of the left foot. Now they're really toiling. And it was an absolutely blistering shot. And you just wondered how they would respond. They must always have feared that Michael Bridges would get a goal. Coming back to your old club.
It was inevitable, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, you always think so. There's a little confusion here. Harry Kewell accused of going down too easily. I think it was a little bit of a challenge, but nothing much. But as they clear it, suddenly again, Richard, you've got midfield players here, just ahead of the line. You've got the back line here, and you've got, I think it's Eric Baca and absolutely acres here. And they just get a little confused again. Not talking so much. Boldy's going to come in here with Harry Kewell's run, and that leaves Wilcox wide open on the left. Bridges is going to make the run in here, and this is all about quality and crossing. Kevin Keegan would have admired this cross. Beautifully played in. Bridges says thanks very much. And you just thought maybe it was too much then. He would also have been near Kevin, watching Kevin Phillips and Jonathan Woodgate. Woodgate performed very well, but just there as it's coming down, go on son, you're 2-0 up. You've just got the second, put it in the stand, and then get yourself together. He tries to be a little bit too clever, drops his shoulder. You can't do that with Phillips. And from an unbelievable angle, that's a magnificent finish from Kevin Phillips. Top class.
So a win for Leeds at the Stadium of Light this evening. It's the other two challengers, Manchester United and Arsenal. A game as big for the Gunners as it was 2 years ago. In that chase that Andy was talking about, when they went to Old Trafford and knew they had to win. Nothing else would do then, and it won't in truth tonight. But they won. And how?
Schmeichel spreads himself through the legs. What a big goal. This is for Arsenal.
that it had everything else, Arsenal's title that season. This evening, Manchester United play a competitive game in this country for the first time since December the 28th. George Gavin has the team news. George.
Well, there's only one team with selection problems tonight, and it's not Manchester United. They're at virtually full strength, just Paul Scholes missing for them this evening. For Arsenal, though, a host of key players are out of the team. There's no Tony Adams in defence, no Mark Overmars in midfield, and the attack has been devastated by injuries, suspensions and absentees. There's no Bergkamp tonight, Kanu is in Africa and Suka is suspended. But this is Manchester United. 33-year-old Dennis Irwin has just announced his retirement from international football. He's been 10 years at United. David Beckham, his 2 goals this season have both come from free kicks. He was sent off in South America. Roy Keane is already on 10 goals this season. Keep a watch on his battle with Patrick Vieira. Andy Cole, former Arsenal player, of course, he scored 96 goals in 212 games for United, alongside tonight Dwight York. Solskjaer on the bench. And for Arsenal, David Seaman has missed the last 2 United games. Freddie Ljungberg has recovered from a calf injury. Stephen Hughes makes his first start of the season as Arsène Wenger bolsters the midfield. Manu Petit makes his 100th Arsenal appearance tonight. Thierry Henry, the only recognised striker in the team. Winterburn on the bench, alongside Christopher Wray, who's back from Birmingham City on loan. The first thing the Arsenal players did when they arrived this evening was look at the newly relayed United pitch. Most of the Arsenal players I spoke to said it was okay. Arsène Wenger was more cautious. He's not sure how it's knitted together, and he wants to see how the ball zips off the pitch this evening. He's very interested in that. Richard.
Invitation from George to keep your eye on Keane. You can, of course, for our interactive player camp tonight if you're a Sky digital viewer. Now, coming up, all the weekend's goals. Relief for Bradford as they beat Watford. We've got an eye on the FIFA World Player of the Year gala tonight. David Beckham amongst the nominations. And when we come back, more, of course, on this game, United against Arsenal. $8,000 expected at Old Trafford. Partially, the far end there, which is the scoreboard end, will be used. Not all of it, some 6,000 or so seats up there ultimately when it's all open. But I'll tell you what, Andy, it gets even more impressive than it was, doesn't it?
It really is taking shape, Richard. It is
fantastic.
Becoming one of the great football arenas in Europe. There's absolutely no doubt of that. And then when they even it out and put the same again at the other end, at the Stretford end, it really will be something special.
Concerns about the pitch from Arsenal, the 4th new surface that Manchester United have laid this season. How will it play, in your opinion?
I think it'll play better than the last one against Bradford in Boxing Day. The pitch was awful, Richard. It churned up, it was muddy, it was a bog. It was the kind of pitch, the likes of which we don't see very often now in the Premiership.
That was great.
Yeah, it was good. I quite liked it. But players are used to the kind of surface you see Arsène Wenger walking on. Problem will be, I mean, it's the middle of winter here. They'll have laid that pitch. All right, the grass will have been growing elsewhere in the warmth, but how will it have knitted? How will it have settled in what's been fairly cold January in this country? And well, Manchester's not noted for its sunshine. There might have been a lot of rain, and it might be just dependent on how much water has fallen on that pitch. I'll tell you what, we'll find out within 15 minutes of the game starting, because if it's okay, shouldn't cut up much.
We've talked all weekend about what's happening in the title race, but of course there's plenty happening at the bottom. Sheffield Wednesday significantly off the bottom this weekend. Yeah,
it's been a pretty good week for Danny. Maybe MP should come out and slag him off a bit more often, Richard, because since then his team have really taken the bull by the horns and got 3, 1 in the cup and 2 in the league. Very good results. And I think Danny's team have gone on. I mean, George Graham's team are a bit up and down at the moment, but they would have expected to have gotten something from this game. Only 1 goal in it. And again, we'll talk about, you'll be amazed how many times tonight we're going to talk about midfield players not getting picked up and players getting dragged in. And that's when we talk about Keane and Vieira, etc. later on. It's interesting. Player to watch here, I think this is Wim Jonk here, Richard, because both centre-backs, Chris Perry there and Sol Campbell there, are getting dragged over. Now, unlike at Sunderland, you can see the full-back Justin Edinburgh. He doesn't have a problem with Alexanderson at the moment. He's quite comfortable, but you can see Jonk is going to make a run in here. He's gotten in front of his midfield player, and that's crucial, because once the ball is flicked there, The full-back has to go, because that's the danger. Now he's trusting to getting the tackle in and stopping the ball coming over. They get a little bit of luck there, but that was key. And from there, Alexanderson just slides a lovely goal in, and what a big goal.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Danny Wilson would argue he was due a bit of luck as well, wouldn't
Oh
he?
yeah, I wouldn't argue with that.
Bradford City. Nobody wanted to lose at Ballyparade this weekend. Bradford City beat Watford.
This was a game that was played in exactly the way everyone thought. There were two teams here who knew a result was really no good to anyone. Both just went out to win it. There were lots of excitement, lots of goal-mouth chances, and a disputed penalty. We have a look at it from the angle we have here. There's a build-up. They don't clear it as well as they could. Sometimes you have to just knock the ball down the line. But as the ball's played in, it's the referee's position, Richard. Lovely little touch from Dean Saunders. Windass is coming in. Now there's the challenge. Now he looks to me like he gets a pretty good look at that, Paul Alcock. And I think the key is the number 4, Robert Page. I think if he stands his ground, even though Windass goes to ground, I don't think he would give a penalty. But that looks a clumsy tackle from that angle. And the referee has decided it's a penalty. And when you see it from here, I think that as it's dropped in, not sure who the defender is here, this Watford defender here, he's got it all under control. He knows the ball is going to go there. You can see from his body shape, he's just going to lean into Windass. He's got total control. Robert Page doesn't need to challenge. There he's holding him out, but suddenly Page puts the leg across, down he goes with Windass. It looks clumsy.
Wrong leg as well, isn't it?
Wrong leg. And I'm not surprised they gave a penalty. It might have been a bit harsh, but when you look at that, I'm not surprised. There wasn't great defending at times in this match, and maybe that's why we got 5 goals. Another midfield runner, Micah Hyde. Oh, what, you think he's been tracked lovely? The Bradford players tracking him in, run for run, not a problem there, but we always say you have to go all the way.
Stopped.
Switched off. And because of switching off, it's a great ball in. The full-back's got absolutely no chance of getting over. The equaliser goes in. It's so important, young players watching, that you track midfield players. Midfield player again. There's the two of them there, side by side. No great problem. Gareth Wally for Bradford. But as Stuart McCall turns it forward, look what happens. Ball watching. Suddenly the midfield player that was beside him is now nowhere near him. All right, he's still got a bit to do. And the shot just, as it bounces there, that's the key. Just bounces over the goalkeeper. Thought he should have done better. Alex Chamberlain, in all honesty, Richard. And even here, 2 men on the post, fine, there's not a problem with that. Andy O'Brien goes up. Now, as that goes over the goalkeeper's head, I'm thinking off the post, run along the line, head it out for another corner or head it away. He makes a really strange decision, the defender, because he backs into the goal. And even if he gets it out of there, still in. It was a really strange decision not to go and try and head it. And then this is the real classic when you talk about defending, how sometimes you can get caught watching the ball. As they come out, and look at this, you've got 4 Watford players there and 5 Bradford players that side of the arc. Quite incredible that no one has spotted them. I mean, they do well to hold the ball up, Micah Hyde, and play it in. But even here, everyone, every player, Bradford player, has been attracted to the ball. Quite incredible. Not one of them is interested in anyone over here. Only, eventually, I think Peter Beagrie comes from here, but by then he's a little bit late. Unbelievable. Take your pick, any one of 4. But it wasn't quite enough. Bradford held on.
And with Bradford winning there, Southampton needed to beat Everton or they would have been in the drop zone, and they did. Huge win for them.
Yeah, I think this was a game where David Jones went in and he didn't care how his team played. It was all about result. Saturday morning, papers were full of, you lose today, could be out. That's unbelievable pressure to put on a manager hours before a big match. But his team did him proud. And, well, whether you call him Joe Tessum or Joe Tessum,
I'll go with Joe.
You go with Joe. Again, it's not great defending, Richard. That's a very dangerous ball to try and fiddle one in here. And when it comes out, again, this is a goalkeeping error for me. It's hit not even 53 miles an hour from a long way out. The goalkeeper should do better. They're a little unlucky here. John Collins is chasing back. He actually gets a touch to the ball. But a little bit of luck from Matt Oakley, but this is a good finish. Bent round the defender, superbly into the corner. That was a lovely finish.
Recovering from a torrid afternoon at St James's Park, where they conceded 5, of course. Newcastle this weekend couldn't score.
Well, they couldn't score, and if you believe what the Wimbledon manager tells you, that having scored 5, he was quite confident there wouldn't be many goals from Newcastle there.
There are one or two exceptions,
There
aren't
are.
there? We have been looking today.
You have.
The 8-0, remember, that Manchester United scored, and rather Newcastle scored, then lost 3-2 to Leeds, so they scored 2 on the following Saturday. Manchester United won 5, went to Liverpool and won 3-2, so it can happen.
Hey, you've done your homework, son. Top man, you are. Top man. But
Somebody else has done their homework, trust me.
Exactly. But the goals are typical Wimbledon goals for me. Free kick, anywhere around here, they're going to load it. They've got 6 players in attacking the ball. That's a threat. And when it comes in, it's really a lovely tease and cross. Tempts the goalkeeper, who can't quite get there. I mean, that's fortunate for Robbie Earl. Very fortunate, but he'll take it every time. And this one, well, you know what's going to happen. One touch, in, in it goes. And again, they get a little bit attracted to the ball. Look at this, 3v2 here, near post. And Marcus Gale, I think it is, great leap, and superb header. And it was game over.
And here's another little stat for you.
Go on.
It's the 13th occasion from 15 meetings that West Ham have beaten Leicester. The 5th time in 7 seasons they've done the double against Leicester.
They want to play Leicester every week then, wouldn't they?
Absolutely.
But this
People do, wouldn't it?
I mean, I think this was on the cards for Leicester. They've played game week in, week out, Monday, Saturday, midweek, Saturday, midweek. A lot of injuries, a lot of pressure. I think it had to tell on them. And I think this was it. This was a culmination of really enormous pressure on them. They've won penalty shootout after penalty shootout, great cup ties, and I think they looked a little drained to me.
So they've got it out of the way before the FA Cup this weekend, and then of course the Worthington Cup semi.
They've got another huge week coming up, but I don't think they played particularly well here, and I think it was on the card. I think you can accept that, and I think Mark O'Neill would and say, all right, let's put that one away. We've got it out the way. We got beaten, and so what? But for Paulo Wanchope, well, what a good day for him. I think he just plays this. Sorry, Rich. For Di Canio, who's making his run here, I think the little ball was fed through for him. But Wanchope gets on it in a flash. That's a pretty good finish. And Emile Heskey, who we talked about, that FA Cup net against Arsenal, struggling for goals. And I just think, you know, if I watched Emile Heskey play football, Richard, as a defender, I know his weaker side's his left. So you've got 2 defenders here, one here, one here. I would be saying, go on then, you've got to keep him going there. Whatever you do, you don't let him turn back onto his right side. And I think he gets back onto his right side far too easily. Far too easily. Powerful shot, but it's another one that the bounce is the thing that does Shaka his luck. But it wasn't to be their day, it was to be Wanchope's day. This is Michael Carrick, another youngster, but they've got great hopes for it. West Ham came on as sub for Steve Lomas early in the match and played really, really well. That lovely ball through from the young kid again. And Paulo Di Canio, well, it's a good goal. I don't think he's going anywhere here. You think player after player after player sending him across. He really can only score in there. There's no way he can go across the players into the far corner. I just think maybe a fix gave him too much to shoot at. But I don't think anyone was surprised that Leicester eventually lost the game.
Carling Premiership, no change in the teams in the bottom 3. Significantly though, Wednesday off the bottom. Watford dropped bottom. Those 2 swapping places. Newcastle down 2 this weekend. Wimbledon up 2 after beating them. And Everton dropping into the bottom half as a result of that defeat at Southampton. Big night in Manchester, of course, this evening, and again at the weekend, Saturday night, when the meanest, baddest man on the planet fights. Mike Tyson against Julius Francis. Saturday night, of course, 5 days to go now. But tell you what, Andy, he knows a little bit about his football as well. Jeff Shreve spoke to him earlier.
I like Manchester United, but only one player, Diego Maradona, #1. I was telling one day I met Pelé in Russia, and I was telling him about Maradona, and he was upset. He said, no, Maradona's not the best because he don't got a good head. He's too short. And I said, no, he's the best because you don't have to use it. He can use his chest. He's so good. He can use his chest. He don't have to use his head because he can use his chest. And I can see his competitive rivalry against who's the greatest ever. But you know, Pelé is just still legendary.
Now, the game tonight's being played in front of 58,000. How would you like to be in an arena like that?
Oh, that'd be great. Perhaps, Mr. Warren said when we come back we'll do 60,000. But listen, I hope the best of both teams, and I hope no one gets hurt.
Well, he's not there, so the chances are that might just be the case as well. Maradona better than Pelé?
Nah, that just shows you he knows nothing about football. But it was interesting, though. I hope no one gets hurt. I bet Julius Francis is opening that at the weekend as well. Go on.
It's Old Trafford tonight. Manchester United against Arsenal on the Monday Night Football. When we come back, we'll be taking an in-depth look at this game here this evening. We'll be hearing from Arsène Wenger, who says this is the most significant point in Arsenal's season tonight, and also majoring on the technology that's available again tonight for Sky Digital viewers. We had a fourth camera angle, player cam. That's next on the Monday Night Football. From London, take on Leicester. That's last year's Cup winners, of course, against last year's Premiership champions. Exclusively live from Loftus Road this time. That's Tuesday night, 7:30 on Sky Sports 3. Here at Old Trafford, it's Manchester United against Arsenal on Sky Sports 1 and Sky Sports Extra for all of you watching on Sky Digital. That's channel 404. All the usual features are there tonight for Sky Digital viewers as we go interactive again. Highlights, replay and stats. Plus, of course, the normal 3-camera choice. But now, once you've gone to channel 404, and don't forget to press the red button on your remote to access our interactive technology, now you can tune into Player Cam, which will be focused on various personalities throughout the game. A chance to follow your favourite player, perhaps, but also for you to catch exactly what the players of today put into a game on and off the ball. And for the first 15 minutes today, Player Cam will be following the United skipper, Roy Keane. FIFA World Player of the Year Awards in Brussels tonight, and George Best is there. Soccer Saturday's George Best entering the Hall of Fame. And very, very proud to be part of it all.
And the silver platter. I'm sorry, I can't resist this opportunity to interview George Best. May I ask you just one quick question? What is it a good thing, is it a bad thing? Did you like being considered the first, like the Beatles, the first pop star of football?
Yeah, I wish I had their money, but it was...
You mean you don't?
Well, not yet, no. I'm getting there. Yeah, but I must say it's a great honour to be with so many great players. And one of my boyhood heroes, Didi, when I was a kid growing up in Belfast, he was my original hero. And of course, some of the great players here. It really is a massive honour to be here.
Encore flatté énormément d'être parmi ces grands, mais vous êtes aussi un très grand. Thank you, George Best. Now you take him off.
My French isn't that good. What do you think that young lady was saying to Best?
She said to the crowd, it's been a great honour for me to interview George, and it's a very, very worthy award.
If that's all it was.
O-level French. Or maybe she was saying room 246 later.
That's what I had in mind. Top of the Carling Premiership, Leeds 4 clear after yesterday's win. Manchester United have played 3 games less. Arsenal 3 more than Manchester United. Those two on the same number of points, of course. Alex Ferguson tonight said Arsenal are the threat. Liverpool chasing Champions League place, sitting in 4th. Sunderland can't win at the moment, 5th. Then it's Chelsea, Spurs, West Ham into the top half this weekend, Villa and Leicester. Now then, Arsenal decimated up front, but they do have Thierry Henry. 6 goals in his last 7 league games. Has he settled?
Yes, I think he has. I mean, it took a long time to settle for me. I don't think he was first choice when he arrived, Richard. We all thought he was going to play wide on the left, and I think so did Arsène Wenger. Use him there, wide on the left, wide on the right, and he would do Bergkamp and probably Suker or Kanu as the front men. But with the injuries, he's been able to play Henry up front, and he's rewarded him with the pace and the goals that he has, and the pace is a key thing for me. Because he has that in abundance, Richard.
Is it Anelka-like pace?
Well, it is Anelka-like pace, and I think we all wondered where this pace would come from. Let's have a look at some of the goals he scored recently. Anything in behind, I mean, and he's away, and he takes some catching. That's the good thing. Now you watch this. He's here, he's right here, and he's only thought at this particular moment, Richard, is to get in behind the Leeds defence. And with that kind of attitude, look at him, there he goes. And Radaby is no slouch, and having gotten in there, he's been good enough and calm enough to finish. So that's going to be key tonight if Arsenal are going to get the goal that they think they need. And that's to win the match. Henry's pace, will it be good enough against Stam and Silvestre? Will he get the service? Because even if somebody makes a mistake, I mean, this is just about it. Look at him. Look at his reactions. So much quicker. And when he gets in now, he's confident enough.
I remember early in the season when you said you felt he needed 4 or 5, maybe 6 chances to score 1. Has his finishing got better? Is he more clinical now?
He's in a good run of form, absolutely. And he's now looking like he will score when he gets in, maybe every 1, certainly every 2 or 3 chances. Whereas I do believe, certainly from wide and when he arrived, he was a player who needed far more chances than his pedigree suggested he should need to get goals.
The match winner, as it turned out, at Highbury, the United skipper, Roy Keane. Now, I mean, influential, we know that.
Yeah.
But as huge an influence on Old Trafford in general as he has been during his time there at the moment, or not?
Oh, more so. And I think more so for one reason, Richard. He's got 10 goals, 5 in the league this year, but 10 in total. And that's his best return in a Manchester United jersey. I've always felt there were goals in Roy Keane. At Forest we saw it. He never quite produced it in Man U. Great performances, but not the goals he's capable of. Now he is producing goals. And never more so than in this fixture at Highbury earlier in the season. He's driving forward now, Richard. He's not just playing a holding game. He's taking responsibility as captain to not only break the game up as he does, but in a situation like this, he's got one thought, and that's to get in the box. Midfield player, and when he gets a chance, he gets a bit of fortune. He's such a good finisher, Roy Keane, at any level. I mean, this wins the World Cup. It's against Palmeiras, I think, earlier on. But again, as Giggs goes to cross it, who's going to arrive? Smack on cue. Look at that, and he comes at the back post for a simple little tap in. Well, the skipper. And that's what he's doing now. That's the added threat for me. There's the pitch I talked about against Bradford.
That's a belter.
That'll be that'll be better than that tonight. But so cool. And here's one, running in behind midfield players. Talked about, we've got some of the best tracking players here. Petit and Vieira don't allow people to run past. Neither does Roy Keane. It'll be interesting to see who will win that battle. But Keane goes diving in behind the midfield players, and by doing that, he gets fed in, and it's a fabulous finish.
So what's changed then? For a fellow that we got used to seeing sit, win the ball and give it to others, what's he added then?
Well, I don't know whether it's confidence, whether it's belief, Richard, whether it's, I mean, Paul Ince, I think, when he and Ince were there, and maybe Brian Robson, I don't know if he actually played alongside Brian, but certainly when Paul Ince was there as well, then maybe he felt a little inhibited. He felt like he had to just protect what he had. But now I think he's just so confident in his back line, and they don't emphasise too much in defending as midfield. They'll get back in. But he's now, as soon as they get the ball and as soon as they get forward, he's getting in the box. And he's so good in the air that any time they get the ball wide, you can see him arriving anytime he wants into the box. And he's driving in there more and more often. And by doing that, he's going to get goals.
OK, well, I mentioned earlier that Arsène Wenger believes this is if not the most significant night in Arsenal's season.
It is one of the turning points of the season in the Championship, I believe, because for us especially, because Man United has 3 games in hand, same points. That means we have to get something out of the game.
Do you feel going into this that they have a massive advantage, having virtually a winter break, or are you hoping that they'll be off the Premiership pace?
I'll be hoping they'll be off the Premiership pace, and I don't concentrate too much on them. I just think we have to play up to our best to have a chance to win the game, no matter in which shape Man United is, because they have the support of their crowd. They'll be confident they can beat us, and we know we have potential to beat them.
In some ways, does that suit you? You've got a striker crisis, you've just been dumped out of the FA Cup, and all the odds are stacked against you. Will that suit you?
I think we are always strong when we're back to the wall. We have shown that this season we're strong enough to beat Man United at Old Trafford in that kind of circumstances. The answer is tonight. And I'm confident, but of course we have to show that kind of strength.
Because of the restrictions that you have in terms of selecting a team, would you potentially change the shape of your team?
It's a possibility as well. But if you want to win, of course you have to be strong up front as well, because if you have no options up front, Man United will not be under threat, will always come at us, and that will make them it easy for them. That's why I believe no matter which kind of shape we play, we have not to get too deep and try to frustrate them and to play high.
The reason that you haven't taken advantage of United whilst they're away is what?
Is what? I don't know. It's our away form, because basically we have been Leeds and Sunderland at home I thought before that of course that could be two tricky games where you could drop points, and we have two outstanding performances, and for me away were disappointing over Christmas, especially the Coventry game was unbelievably weak.
But all season, just 14 points out of a possible 30 away from home. What's the problem?
I would like to keep that for myself.
But you are aware there is a big problem?
Yes.
And going into this game, is that in the back of your mind?
No, not really, because I think that's a special game where we can play up to our level, but of course our away form, if you look at the goals we scored and the goals we conceded, is not good enough overall in the season. And the challenge for us is to stay at the top and to win something this season. We are in still a chance in the Premiership, so we don't have to make any balance now. We just have to try to get the best out of the team. And I'm convinced if we do a good result at Man United, we still can win it.
You wouldn't tell Jeff Streaves. What is his problem?
Well, I think the problems he's talked about, one, are the team's away form. It hasn't been good enough. Only 14 goals scored and 13 conceded. That ain't Arsenal-like for me. Home form's been excellent. You can't argue with their performance at home. Only 1 defeat out of 12, 8 wins in that. That's fantastic. You just can't argue with that. And I think the problem being, Richard, the goalkeeper for the starts missed 12 of the 22 league games. That ain't bad. And so often we've talked Dixon, Keown, Adams, Winterburn. How often have I reeled them off?
All the time.
All the time. Very rarely have I said that quartet, plus the goalkeeper, the quintet, if you like, of players that have based Arsenal's success over the last 5, 10 years has been based upon. So that is a problem. Maybe we are seeing transition going along here. And if we are, then perhaps that's why they're not quite as solid as they are. But taking that aside, the key area for me tonight is undoubtedly here. These two, aided by Parlour. Petit, Vieira and Ray Parlour against Keane and Butt. Because if these two don't protect the way they can and then influence the way they can, I could see Arsenal losing this game tonight. Because Manchester United, if they dominate in that area with Keane and Butt and Giggs and Beckham to a certain extent in wide areas against these two, then there's problems for Arsenal. Because I honestly think these two are the best in the world.
Well, I was just about to say that. FIFA are honouring the best in the world tonight. I say to be careful of overstatement on occasions, but you genuinely feel that, do you?
If I was a manager and somebody gave me carte blanche to go and buy an open checkbook to go and buy 2 central midfield players, I'd buy those 2. I think they give you everything you need. And I think they'll need to be at their best. If there was ever a time that Arsène Wenger needed his 2 French central midfield players to perform for him, it's tonight. And just up front quickly on that, I think what they might do, we've talked about Henry and we've talked about him here, he'll try and play on shoulders, he'll try and get the centre-backs up here and get in behind, but it's Ljungberg I'm interested in. He could play Ljungberg wide on the right, he could tuck Parlour in and play 3 in here, and Stephen Hughes can play there. He could do that. I don't think he will. He might early on, he might 10, 15 minutes keep it there. But I think you might say to Ljungberg, go on, you've got goals in you. You can get a goal. Try and find yourself a space in and around Henry where you don't get picked up, and then get in the box and see if we can get as a goal, pinch that all-important goal.
If he goes 5 in there, is that to restrict what Beckham and Giggs can do to him?
Well, what Manchester United have got, Richard, is a fantastic variation right and left. And that comes from having 2 players, the likes of Beckham and Giggs. Now, crossing. What I'll say here, if Stephen Hughes gets out there and he doesn't get any nearer than that, then what David Beckham is going to do is that. Now, it doesn't matter if you're 6 foot at the back, Richard, and you've got loads of defenders. If you've got this kind of quality, like that, look at that, Coventry have 4 defenders, couldn't stop it. And if they don't get to the source and they allow Beckham to do this time and again, then that'll cause Arsenal problems. And not only what David can do, I think, is when he gets deep and he doesn't get pressured, he's got wonderful long-range passing. He doesn't have to be right up. This was the pass of the match at Highbury earlier this season. Quite exquisite. But look at Giggs. That's the difference. Giggs is more of a threat, in and ahead. He can get directly through the middle, Ryan Giggs, or he can drive at people from wide areas and carry the fight like this. This, to me, is a difference. I wouldn't expect David Beckham to do this. Carry it 60, 70 yards, right the full length of the pitch, taking defence to attack. Now, Arsenal have got to cope with that and deny them, because if they don't, who will ever forget this goal?
Nobody that saw it.
You know, one of the greatest FA Cup goals that I've ever had the privilege of seeing. It was quite magnificent. And it's summed up in one movement, exactly what Ryan Giggs is capable of. So they have to deny these two the type of space for him to run into or the space to cross. If the ball comes here, Stephen Hughes, I'm sure, will be there, and Silvino will have to be close. If they're not, they'll just bend it into the little areas.
One of the great English football confrontations. There's 161 games down the years. United's 2-1 at Highbury earlier this season. Their first win in 5, remember. They had lost 3 and drawn 1 of the previous 4. Arsenal at Old Trafford, you see it's tight from the 161 home and away, but at Old Trafford, not the best. Unbeaten in the last 2, but only 13 wins from 80 played. And what, Andrew, can we expect tonight?
Oh, thanks, mate. Why didn't you throw to Trevor and Alan?
I was thinking about it.
You could have got predictions from them. I think it'll be as tight as it's been down the years, Richard. I don't think we'll get a high-scoring football match tonight.
There hasn't been many goals down the years, has there? But they've been very enjoyable for all that.
I would go as far as to say, and this is as good as you're getting from me at the moment, is that I don't think Manchester United will lose tonight.
All right. let's go to Old Trafford then. The lucky boys in the commentary box tonight, Trevor Francis and Alan Parry.
Absolutely. Good evening from Old Trafford, where Manchester United play their first league game of the new millennium in front of the Premiership's biggest crowd ever. And Trevor, it could hardly be more important, vital for United, but in a way, I think, even more so for Arsenal.
I think it is. A lot's been made of the players that are missing for Arsenal tonight, but still, I think they've got a formidable lineup. I think for Manchester United, how quickly will they adapt to the Premiership again? It's a long time, you know, being out for a month. But I think what's important tonight and what's in their favour is the fact that they've got a team in Arsenal who are their fiercest rivals. With no disrespect to the other teams, if it was against a lesser team tonight, I think they might find it difficult to pick up the pace. But they know they've got to be on song straight away.
Let's check on tonight's teams then. Beginning with Manchester United. Mark Bosnich, now in the form that made United sign him. Gary Neville recovered from his howler in Brazil. Jaap Stam, United's only ever present in the Premiership. The Frenchman, Mikel Silvestre, partners him. Dennis Irwin, Mr. Reliable at left back. David Beckham, another with reason to forget the trip to Brazil. Roy Keane, who scored both goals when United won 2-1 at Highbury in August. Nicky Butt playing in the absence of the injured Paul Scholes. And Ryan Giggs, who scored that memorable winning goal against Arsenal in the FA Cup. Dwight York has scored 3 times in the last 3 league games, and Andy Cole, United's top scorer, with 15. Now Arsenal, the reassuring figure of David Seaman. Lee Dixon has held off all comers at right back. Martin Keown now restored in the centre of defence. Gilles Grimondi continues for the injured Tony Adams. The Brazilian Silvino having a wrong run at left back. Ray Parlour back after injury on the right of midfield. In the middle, French World Cup winners Patrick Vieira and Emmanuel Petit back in harness again. And Stephen Hughes chosen to replace Mark Overmars, his first start for almost a year. Frederick Ljungberg, recovered from injury, has been given a free role tonight. So Thierry Henry, Arsenal's only recognised striker, has a difficult night ahead of him.
Whilst Manchester United can pick a 4-4-2 formation, you can see there that the only absentees from that normal lineup is Ronnie Johnson in the back. And apart from that, they're almost at full strength. I think the key to this game is in midfield. I know Andy's already spoken about it, but I'm just going to reiterate. Keane and Butt against the 2 fierce rivals from France, Petit and Vieira. Whoever comes out on top will have a big influence on the outcome of this game. We move on to Arsenal. Well, whilst a lot's been spoken about the absentees, I think what's important for Arsène Wenger is that the shape of the side doesn't really change. Although you've got Ljungberg there just playing in behind the front. If you remember at the start of the season, the Charity Shield, he actually played as a front runner up alongside Kanu. So it's not a totally unfamiliar role for him. But still, it's a very, very strong lineup. And I think the importance is that the balance is there. On the left-hand side, you've got 2 recognised left-footers in Silvino and Hughes. And I think that it's important in midfield that Petit and Vieira have alongside them, back after injury, Ray Parlour.
Sir Alex Ferguson's squad virtually at full strength. Players of the calibre of Sheringham and Solskjaer on the bench, and how Arsenal must envy that kind of strength in depth tonight. Winterburn really the only man on their bench who's experienced on big nights like these. 3,000 extra seats at Old Trafford tonight in the East Stand, the latest part of the redevelopment of Old Trafford that will eventually take the capacity here to around 62,000. And they've got yet another new playing surface. It is in fact the 6th different pitch that's been laid here over the last 2 years by groundsman Keith Kent, and I think if this one doesn't work, they might have to call in Clark Kent. And certainly Arsène Wenger was a little bit disturbed about the quality of this new surface when he led his Arsenal players on the traditional pre-match walkabout. It hasn't really had much time to settle that surface.
No, it's very interesting that when Arsenal arrived here, all the players went out, they had a careful look at the surface, but I would have thought that Manchester United are already accustomed to it. They've been back now from Brazil a little while, and I'd imagine that possibly Thursday or Friday of last week they'd have had a training session on this, or even possibly a practice match, just to get familiar with the new surface. I think that's always vitally important for the home team.
A debut for the new pitch and the new seats, and for Manchester United, their first Premiership action for 27 days since the 2-2 draw at Sunderland, and yet they are still second in the table, just 4 points behind the leaders, Leeds United, and they will still, even after tonight, have 2 games in hand on them and 3 on Arsenal. A frightening thought. And here's another one for you. United have won more games, scored more goals, and got more points at this corresponding stage than they did last season.
Yes, and so have Arsenal, Alan. I think they're about 4 points better off at this stage. I find that very interesting.
Intriguingly, Arsenal have actually conceded more goals at this point than they did in the whole of last season. That's unusual indeed for them. Tony Adams still absent, of course. So too the likes of Overmars and Bergkamp. Suker suspended tonight. And, of course, Kanu on African Nations Cup duty.
Yes, I think the biggest loss is when you look at the bench. I think that all those players that we mentioned, they all couldn't possibly have started tonight. Undoubtedly, Tony Adams would have been in the defence alongside Keane. I think possibly Bergkamp would have played up front. And, of course, Overmars would have played on the left-hand side of midfield. So the likes of Kanu would probably have been on the bench alongside Suker. So when you talk about the loss of many, many players in the Arsenal side, I think they're probably without 3 key players tonight. Although it is very fair to say, Alan, that the bench is very weakened.
Roy Keane leads Manchester United. Lee Dixon captains Arsenal. It's one of those fixtures that really needs no hype. The very names tell you the story. Manchester United against Arsenal. Interesting there that Mark Bosnich, the Manchester United goalkeeper, is wearing a yellow jersey, and the Arsenal change strip tonight is yellow shirts. And I wonder if Mr. Durkin notices that. I'm sure he will. He's close enough to Bosnich. Will he order him to change to a green or another coloured jersey? That could be confusing.
Well, that's surely an oversight. I can't believe that he's going to get away with that. And whilst we're talking about the players who are missing tonight, I was talking about the Manchester United team without Ronnie Johnson, but of course I should have mentioned Paul Scholes, recovering after his earlier operation, another vitally important member of this side. Possibly he would have played in the centre of midfield. It's not a bad replacement, is it, Nicky Butt?
Well, it's the biggest, most important fixture of the Premiership season so far. It's also certain to have a major impact on who wins the first championship of the new millennium. For the moment, Bosnich will trot out in that yellow jersey. I feel sure he'll have to change eventually. It's Manchester United against Arsenal. There are 58,000 inside Old Trafford. You got the best seat in the house, though. It's live and exclusive in just a moment. Old Trafford, venue for the Monday Night Football this evening. Manchester United against Arsenal, and there's something new on offer for Sky Digital viewers tonight. Another angle on our interactive coverage on Sky Sports Extra, and we're calling it Player Cam. All the usual features there, highlights, replay and stats, plus of course the normal 3-camera choice.
But now, once you've gone to channel 404, and don't forget to press the red button on your remote to access our interactive technology, you can now tune into Player Cam, focusing on various personalities throughout the game. And the first that we'll be following for the first 15 minutes tonight, United skipper Roy Keane. That's Player Cam, interactive on Sky Digital, channel 404. Right, we are set. Let's join our match commentators at Old Trafford, Trevor Francis and Alan Pack.
Thank you, Richard. Welcome back. Well, the midfield battleground could be one of the many key features to this match tonight. Patrick Vieira, I'm sure, relishing the prospect of locking horns once again with Roy Keane. Referee Paul Durkin will no doubt be keeping a close eye on those two in a fixture which certainly has a stormy history. I understand that Mr. Durkin has indeed noticed that Bosnich has got a very similar, if not identical, coloured jersey to the Arsenal outfield players tonight, and they have sent instructions for a change of jersey, but it hasn't arrived yet. Remarkably relaxed Arsène Wenger. I was chatting to him in the tunnel about an hour or so ago. Very philosophical, I think, about the changes that he's been forced to make for this match tonight. The absence of so many important players clearly has troubled him, but he's of the opinion that his men are at their best in adversity. And I guess you could say pretty much the same about his team. Not that they experience it very often. If Manchester United win tonight, they'd be a point behind the leaders, Leeds United, 3 points ahead of Arsenal. They've got a superior goal difference and games in hand on both. That really is how important this match is, Trevor.
Yes, you can feel the importance of it. There's a real buzz around the place. Just a pity it's been slightly delayed. I think that's while the referee is just waiting for the jumper of Mark Bosnich to arrive. I can't believe that we've got to this point now and it hasn't been noticed. 7 o'clock when the two managers go in and exchange teams. That's when you've got to inform the referee just exactly what colours the goalkeepers are playing in. That's when it should have been noticed, at 7 o'clock, not at 2 minutes past 8.
It is amazing, isn't it? You get 58,000 people. The match is being watched by millions across the world in something like 40 different nations. Everything is set, and the goalkeeper can't get a change of jersey. Was it the 1974 World Cup final where they were all set to go and someone noticed they didn't have any corner flags? David O'Leary, if you were watching Sky Sports coverage of Sunderland against Leeds United yesterday, made an almost public plea for a couple of seats for tonight's match. Somebody was obviously listening and lent a sympathetic ear. No one was listening when Mark Bosnich sent that signal to the dressing room. He's still trying to point out that he's got the wrong coloured jersey on. I know Manchester United are famous for changing their strip a lot, but this is ridiculous. So a totally unscheduled delay here. I think the messenger has finally got the message. And an impromptu striptease for the beefcake Aussie. This will certainly please his female. I thought he was going to take the shorts off as well then for a second. It doesn't seem exactly like your regulation goalkeeper's jersey, but I'm sure this will get sold sooner or later. Is that all you could come up with, I think he said?
Well, he appears to be taking it all in his stride, and he's a pretty confident character, but I would think this is pretty off-putting. You can imagine the nerves jangling before such a big game as this. It's the last thing that Bosnich wanted. And that's the worst goalkeeping jersey I've seen for a long, long time.
So Manchester United set to start a new decade in the Premiership against their fiercest rivals of the previous decade. Between them, these two clubs won 18 major trophies in the last 10 years. It's the 6th time that United and Arsenal have met in just under 12 months, and honours are pretty even. It's Arsenal who finally get us underway. David Seaman, who is dressed correctly with the first clearance. Yapstam right underneath it. Vieira turns it forward. Cleared by Silvestre. Manchester United have had 6 wins in their last 7 league games. 19 points out of 21. And in their absence in Brazil, no one really has gained too much of an advantage over them, even though, of course, Leeds United head the table. There's Dennis Irwin, who will be concentrating on Manchester United issues now, having retired from international football with the Republic. Not the most convincing kick clear by Bosnich. Thought it was his jumper he changed, not his boots. Vieira, Stam's clearance. Roy Keane, Dwight York.
Just looking at the two teams, the way they've lined up, Alan, we were led to believe that Ljungberg would play in a little row just in behind the front, really wherever he saw necessary to go, but it does appear at this moment that he's actually playing as an out-and-out front player with Henry. That's the role that I said that he played in that Charity Shield at the beginning of the season when Arsenal had a 2-1 win against Manchester United. So it's not totally unfamiliar for him.
Martin Keown's clearance. Petit given away to Cole, and suddenly Nicky Butt in a threatening position here. It was a difficult clearance for Grimondi, and he did well. Nicky Butt, who scored the late equaliser at Sunderland back at the end of December, which was United's last appearance, of course, in a Premiership fixture. Grimondi there again. Vieira turns it on. Henry's header, Parler with the ball forward, and Stam steady as ever. Ramondi's clearance this time has fallen straight to Beckham. The early ball in, a little nudge on Keown, spotted by the referee. Dwight York the culprit. Well, let's quickly find out if George Gavin can shed some light on why it took so long for Bosnich to get that change of jersey. George.
Alan, we understand the delay was caused because there wasn't a replacement goalkeeper's jersey in the dressing room, and we believe they had to go to the mega store to buy one. Probably didn't have the right amount of money. Times are hard at Manchester United.
Thought I could still see the label. Dwight York's layoff gets it back from Ryan Giggs. Good ball for Irwin. Keown finding Parler with the clearance. Ljungberg. Ray Parler. Quick feet on the far side. And the foul goes against Roy Keane. Henry deceiving him.
I'm sure that everybody's interested to see how this pitch plays tonight, newly laid, no more so than Alex Ferguson. And it's quite interesting that when David Seaman cleared the ball this now, a big chunk of turf came up underneath him, and he wasn't best pleased.
Henry held it up well. Good defending by Silvestre. A poor clearance straight to Vieira. Henry's still there. Ljungberg alongside him. Silvinho. Challenged by Ljungberg. And the ball deflects for an easy touch for Mark Bosnich. Seems to have seen off Massimo Taibi, at least for the rest of this season. The Italian has gone out on loan, back to Italy. Irwin. York let it through. Cole knew what he was doing. They seem to be intuitive, those two. Keane. Beckham. Neville forced to go back again to his keeper. Yeah, with was determined that was going to be his. And already a fair few sizable chunks coming out of yet another new playing surface here.
Yes, that's the point I was making this now, Alan. You look all over the field. There's an example. Already starting to cut up, which I would think for Manchester United is quite disturbing.
Unbeaten in their last 19 league games here at Old Trafford since Middlesbrough won here in December 1998. What a record for Sir Alex Ferguson's team. They've won 8 out of 10 this season, including the last 5 in a row. Henry, easy interception for Neville. But that's great skill. Silvestre. But available again. Cole trying to get in behind Grimond, who have to stretch once more. Now Ljungberg again dropping into that role where he's difficult to pick up by United. Neville in trouble against him. And Henry well placed in the middle, and he finds him! Wonderful save by Bosnich. Here's Silvestre. Irwin. Arsenal so close to the opening goal. Vieira winning the header. Petit. Good ball, and again, Ljungberg has dropped off and found space. Hughes. Confident start by Arsenal. Keane.
Well, this is the opening chance for Arsenal. Neville caught in possession, quickly dispossessed by Ljungberg, who plays an early ball in. Henry, great save. He's quickly onto it, Henry, outside of his foot, and a brilliant save from Bosnich.
Now at the other end, a problem for Arsenal. Silvinho's header was wayward. Nothing David Seaman could do about that. Beckham takes it early. Better angle than Neville's cross. Nicky Butt. Patrick Vieira. Now Parla. Arsenal cut it off again in midfield. Well, they've been dominant so far.
Yes, it's no surprise to me, Alan, that, you know, I questioned before the game, when a team hasn't played for a month, it's going to be difficult for them to pick up the match tempo straight away. And that's where Arsenal could possibly capitalise. And you have to say in the opening 10 minutes, Arsenal started the better.
Keane under pressure here from York. Lee Dixon realised that. No foul given, Andy Cole. Decent effort from such a tight angle.
I don't think it's going to play, is it? Or certainly hasn't gone out for a goal kick. I believe it's a throw-in.
Beckham. Given away by Stam. Petit. It's a good ball. Ljungberg's there again, and a pacey Henry ahead of him. And it looked as though Stam held him off there with an illegal challenge. Mr. Durkin waves play on, though. Silvestre. Dennis Irwin gives it away. Petit. Brazilian Silvinho. Beckham, seen enough of Brazilians to last him for a while, I think, after his experience in those championships. He's up against one again tonight. Dixon finds Parler. It's a good ball, Youngberg. Parler tries to go the difficult route. And Dennis Irwin got quite a lot on that back pass. Dixon. Vieira picks out Petit. Roy Keane's clearance again goes straight back to Arsenal. This has been a very good opening by the Gunners. Petit for them. They've won 5 of their last 8 games in the Premiership, Arsenal, including 3 in a row. Causes a problem for Stam, and Ljungberg's got round him. Finishes. He's done it again. He always seems to score against Manchester United, and what a crucial goal that could be, and a bad mistake by the world's most expensive defender, Jaap Stam.
Well, yesterday, Alan, we saw Woodgate dispossessed by Phillips in similar style. This is identical. Stam caught in possession by Ljungberg. He slots it between the legs of Bosnich. It's a great start for Arsenal, and only what they've deserved. They've taken the game to Manchester United. They've been the better side the opening 10 minutes. Deservedly gone into the lead.
You know what, mixed emotions on the benches. And what a start here to the most important league match of the season so far. Manchester United have not settled, and Arsenal deserved their lead. Freddie Ljungberg, who scored within 5 minutes of his Arsenal debut against Manchester United 16 months ago, and was also on target in the 2-1 home defeat at Highbury in August.
Yes, if there's a player who deserves the go, it's him. I think he started the game very, very well, playing in a position that's causing a problem for Manchester United. He's interchanged between playing up the front and just dropping in between the midfield and the front, and it's been difficult for Manchester United to pick him up. Arsenal have got onto the game straight away with Petit and Vieira getting balls into him, and it's been a big problem. I think he's interpreted what Arsène Wenger's asked of him very well.
Now Henry, who just got, I think, an accidental smack in the face there as Silvestre cleared the ball. Keown's header. Keane. Nicky Butt. Silvestre. Manchester United playing their way out of a tight spot. Beckham. It's lovely football, and that's a foul by Petit. Beckham hits it in early. Nicky Butt. Is an example of how Manchester United have not settled at all yet, but Arsenal have, and well, Arsène Wenger was forced really to play Freddie Ljungberg in this position by the absence of so many strikers, no Bergkamp, Kanu or Souquet. So far, his plan has worked.
Yes, the goal will be remembered, Alan, for the way that he coolly slotted the ball underneath Bosnich as he came out. Put it between his legs, but also I think a lot of credit must be given to the bravery that he showed, because as Stam attempted to clear the ball, he could easily have had a boot in his face. He wasn't bothered about that. He put his head in there and he got his just rewards.
And considering that Henry had come close to a goal earlier than that, no one can argue that Arsenal don't deserve the lead here. Almost 15 minutes gone and they have a corner. Keown on the edge of the 6-yard box. Dwight York, who got it away, but it'll come back in again. Ljungberg once more. Goes down quickly this time by Roy Keane. Dixon over the top. Henry unmarked. It was only his touch that let him down. That's unlike him. But at the moment, Arsenal looking that yard sharper and quicker to the ball.
Well, the room that Henry found himself in was quite unbelievable. And usually his first touch let him down. If it had been better, that would have been another goal-scoring opportunity.
Ball kick by Bosnich. Straight to the goal scorer, Ljungberg. And Neville. And the boot high there by Grimondi in the face of Andy Cole. Quick reminder to Sky Digital viewers, if you're watching on Sky Sports Extra, the player cam for the next 15 minutes will be following Arsenal's Patrick Vieira. Beckham's free kick, a beauty as ever. Dwight York's turned it away from danger. Back in again by Keane. Giggs on the far post, Beckham beyond him. Early throw by David Seaman. Picked up pace there ahead of Parler, but he still managed to get the ball in a danger area. Manchester United won 2-1 at Highbury earlier in the season. It was only the second defeat that Arsenal have suffered against Manchester United in their last 9 league games.
It's noticeable, you know, every time the ball goes back to Bosnich and he kicks it, straight away Arsenal pick up possession. He's getting no distance at all with his kicks. He's always falling short into the midfield, where Arsenal have got the greater strength and the greater height.
Here's Parler. No foul. Excellent tackle by Grimondi. Vieira. Stam in the right place this time. Neville under pressure. Beckham, as ever, the outlet for him. And Petit takes it off Keane. Vieira. Oh, lovely skill. Hughes. Silvinho. There's a steely resolve about Arsenal that you have to admire. They come into this game where many people had written them off even before a ball had been kicked, and they're looking excellent here. Ryan Giggs up against Lee Dixon. Irwin in support. Giggs fires one in, and Seaman read the blot.
Yes, Giggs elects to come onto his right foot. Beckham going in around the back, but Seaman spots the danger quickly off his line. Not a problem to him.
Neville over the top, and Cole was offside as York tried to play him through. There was a special fixture, of course, for Andy Cole, who began his career at Arsenal. They only made a couple of appearances for them. Scored for United in the 1-1 draw here against them last season. Silvestre, Giggs. Given away by Nicky Butt to Manu Petit. He dwelt a little too long on it. Beckham accepts the gift. Cole and York ahead of him. Giggs far side. Dwight York. Cole. Lovely control by him. And Nicky Butt sharp charge down. Keane with the effort. Almost too hot to handle for David Seaman.
Well, that's much better for Manchester United. It all came about when Petit was dispossessed in midfield. They quickly closed him down. Great ball from Beckham, helped on its way to Cole by York. I think it's Butt with a side foot. It gets blocked, and then the shot from Keane straight at Seaman, who catches it the second attempt.
Another disappointing kick there by Bosnich. free kick. Always so little between these two teams, of course. Arsenal losing their league title to United last season by just a point on that dramatic final day. Vieira. Henry. Good play again by Arsenal. Arla. 3 in the box this time. Dixon finds Ljungberg. Good turn again by the Swede. That's an excellent effort. And the corner's been given. No, the referee was just looking to his linesman, but in the end, a signal goal kick.
Well, I can't believe that, because Bosnich, for me, saves this. I think Silvestre gets far too tight on Ljungberg, and you can see there that the shot going wide, but Bosnich makes sure of it, and I think he just gets a touch. Well, possibly not.
Certainly Mr. Durkin thought so, but the linesman kept his flag down, and United counter-attack with Giggs. Colwell placed, so too was York. But he comes out with the ball, though. That's a bit careless by Hughes. Manchester United not the team you want to give the ball back to that cheaply. Neville. Difficult one here for Dixon. Giggs his header.
There's a good ball that from Neville. Good diagonal cross field. Giggs gets the run on Dixon. Gets the header, but just puts a little bit too much on it, trying to direct it into the path of his two front runners, York or Cole.
Well, we understand that Silvinho is struggling with an injury, so Nigel Winterburn is about to replace him for Arsenal, and he himself has had a back injury, and at one stage wasn't even going to travel north with the Arsenal squad, but physio Gary Lewin spent some time manipulating the back problem at the team's hotel. He was able to take his place on the bench, but there has to be a slight question mark about his fitness. But he's obviously the natural replacement for Silvinho. Vieira. Petit. Forward for Hughes, too far. He's given it away to Beckham. Quite York, well played, Petit.
Yes, that was poor defensive play from Grimondi. Should have gone for safety and headed that one out for a throw-in. He elected to try and keep it in play, but only succeeded in giving it straight to Beckham, who almost got York clear.
So Winterburn gets to take his place. Disappointment for Silvinho, who we understand has a calf injury. He's kept Winterburn out of the side in recent weeks. Unusually for Nigel Winterburn, he spent most of his time on the bench. Neville's throw, touched on by Beckham. Winterburn gets his first touch straight away. Bosnich again has hit the back pass short. For such a talented goalkeeper, he was remarkably apprehensive when the ball's at his feet. Keane. Ljungberg wins it back.
Well, we spoke about the confrontation, didn't we, in midfield between Butt and Keane against the two Frenchmen, Petit and Vieira. You have to say at the moment, we've been going 24 minutes. And the two French lads have absolutely dominated the opening exchanges.
Here's Beckham. Manchester United fans just beginning to get a touch anxious and frustrated at the way their side is playing here tonight. They had 3 games in Brazil. It wasn't exactly a holiday, but they weren't at this sort of level, and they're finding it hard to find their rhythm. Mickey Butt's cross is a good one, though. And it comes out to David Beckham. Most unlike him. A wasted cross. And again, an opening here for Arsenal. Ljungberg has Henry to his left, Vieira to his right, and he might go all the way. Henry. No one to cross to at the moment. So he has a go. And it took a deflection for a corner.
Well, without that deflection, I think that may have gone in. It was a great effort from Henry. Just have a little look at this. He comes off Stam, hits it with great pace. Well, Bosnich, he didn't expect it, and I think that ball would have gone in the far corner.
8 goals in his last 12 games, Thierry Henry. Bosnich did well under pressure to catch that one so cleanly. Dixon let it bounce. I always tell defenders not to do that. Cole. Giggs in the middle. Dwight York arriving. And here he is! Well, it was an absolutely vital challenge that stopped him getting a clean shot there.
Well, all the players are going after Paul Durkin because I think there was a shout there for a penalty. As that ball was played into the box from Andy Cole, I think one of the Arsenal defenders grabbed the shirt of Ryan Giggs, and it could easily have been a penalty. Let's have another look at it. Watch the ball from Cole as it comes in. You watch the tug on Giggs' shirt. You can't see it clearly there, but it was Keane, and that's what they're complaining about. There we go. He's definitely grabbed a hold of him. That's a penalty. It falls to Dwight York, who can't quite get over it. Otherwise, he would have got the equaliser, but I think they've got every right to shout for a penalty there.
Well, this is more like it in the champions now. Keane on the edge of the 6-yard box. Dwight York also there for this throw. T gets it away. Hughes. Not sure Winterburn really appreciated that ball. And United trying to get up ahead of steam now, and their fans responding accordingly. Silvestre. Irwin. Beckham won the header. Nicky Butt again loses a challenge in midfield, this time to Ray Parlour. Henry.
That's where Arsenal are dominating on this midfield. United are playing with Giggs and Beckham in quite wide areas, whereas Parlour is playing very narrow, Hughes is going narrow, and they really are dominating the midfield. At times it's 4 against 2 in there.
Beckham's layoff, excellent. Gets it back from Keane. Vieira covered so much ground to make that interception.
You just feel as if Keane and Butt could do with a bit of assistance. Possibly one of the wide players could play a bit narrower.
The tackle's flying in now. And there's another one from Petit to win it back. And yet another. It's boiling up now, all right. And finally the referee's whistle goes, and it's Arsenal who get the free kick.
Well, poor Dirk will have a little smile there. He's probably saying to himself, I can't believe it's taken 29 minutes. That's what we've been waiting for.
No sign of a card. The new edict to Premiership referees having an effect, and an excellent effect too. There go United. 2 too strong match surely for Cole. But he's making up the ground, and he has done brilliantly. Unlucky. Got the throw. Keane. Nicky Butt. Here's Roy Keane again, and that's a corner. And a quick reminder to Sky Digital viewers, if you're watching on Sky Sports Extra, the player cam for the next quarter of an hour will be following David Beckham, who's about to take this corner. Well defended again by Arsenal. Erwin with a chance to pump it back in. Keane's layoff, and again Keane! It's gone to Beckham, it was a miss kick, and David Seaman lost it in the crowd. Now the pressure is on Arsenal. Beckham. Good ball, Keane to Neville. Excellent cross coming in from the right by Gary Neville. Manchester United's best spell in the match. Dwight York. That's a corner. Now Arsenal knew this kind of pressure would be coming eventually. They're probably surprised it's taken so long. The downward header. Well, Seaman reacted to it. All the crowd seem to be shouting handball as Dwight York headed it into the 6-yard box.
I think the shout once again was for this time a handball against Grimondi. Let's have a look. There. Well, certainly it was a great header from Dwight York, totally unmarked. Andy Cole on the swivel should have done better. But as the ball was cleared, the shout went up for a handball against Grimondi.
Winterburn knows that Beckham's right behind them, but the ball's beaten them both. Well, there's a feeling sometimes in football that you've got to work extra hard to get a penalty if you're on the opposing side at Old Trafford. Tonight it's gone against United though.
Well, Dwight York's unmarked. Well, that is a penalty, isn't it? Quite clearly. You see Jaap Stam raise his arm. He was closest, he thought it was a penalty. But the man that counts in black, he doesn't get it.
And you could clearly see Mr. Durkin at the top of that picture indicating that he thought it was on the chest, not the arm. Well, there's no way that Manchester United and Arsenal can meet without several talking points, and we've got some already. And we've got one goal to Arsenal. In possession here with Petit. Keane. Better clearance this time by Bosnich. Off Giggs' head for an Arsenal throw. 12 minutes of the half remaining. Arsenal unbeaten in their last 3 League and Cup games here at Old Trafford. Dwight York dispossessed by Grimondi. Winterburn. And Neville. York. Let's come back to York. Vieira is having a magnificent game in the middle of the field for Arsenal. Harder. Hughes. Winterburn in strongly. And Grimondi again. And so canny, so cute and experienced. He seems to be in the right place so often. Neville. He immediately faces Keane and just nicked the ball off him. It's gone to Silvestre though. A crucial 10 minutes for Arsenal. If they can hold their lead to half-time, it will have an important psychological effect. Vieira. Keown's clearance straight to Beckham, on it goes for Cole. Good work by Dixon, just got round the back, cleaned it up. Stam keeps the pressure on. Henry with an excellent header. And this time it was Neville doing the covering job. Now Silvestre. Beckham coming in here. Winterburns hooked clearance, gives United the throw. Stam. It's disappointing by Ryan Giggs.
This is the claim from Manchester United. It's a free header, comes in. Andy Cole on the turn, misses it. It's Dixon who clears. But this is what we're going to look for. Does Grimondi handle that, or is it off his chest? My first impression was this is on, but possibly Paul Durkin could have been right. They normally are, aren't they, referees?
Parla. Giggs got lucky then, but has made the most of it. And how well Dixon recovered. 35? Surely not. Now Henry with a chance to break here. He could make it too. He should have done. You've got to credit Bosnich for the stop, but you would have expected a player of the calibre of Thierry Henry to score then.
You're so right, Alan, but what poor defensive play again from United. Silvestre totally lacking in concentration, allowing Henry to get goal side of him, and once he got goal side, there was absolutely no chance he was ever going to catch him.
Well, that could be a defining moment in this game. Beckham's cross. Giggs coming in on the far post. Dixon got it away. Irwin. Well, Thierry Henry couldn't have dreamed he would get such a golden opportunity here at Old Trafford of all places.
Well, it's just a simple little flick on from Ljungberg. Henry goes clear. But you have to give credit to Bosnich. That is a brilliant save with his left hand. That's the second occasion now that Bosnich has thwarted Henry, and both occasions he's made brilliant saves with his left hand.
The man who was top scorer, of course, for his country when they won the World Cup in 1998. Has scorned a fantastic opportunity there to give Arsenal a 2-0 advantage. Here's Ljungberg, who gave him the one-goal lead. And he's there again. Petit. Uncharacteristic mistakes here by the Manchester United defence, for sure. Henry. Lee Dixon. Now Petit.
That's a position that's a problem for United when Ljungberg just comes off there again. They've got the ability, Arsenal, to find him because they're passing the ball with great confidence and accuracy.
And do so again. Petit in possession. Vieira's offside. Well, there's a couple of terrific cup ties coming up in the next couple of days on Sky Sports. Aston Villa against Leicester, Worthington Cup semi-final, first leg, that's tomorrow. Then on Wednesday evening, second leg of the semi-final this time, Tranmere Rovers against Bolton. Tranmere 1-up on the first leg. Exclusive live coverage of both those ties. Grimondi's clearance. What a ball it was too for Petit. On for Ljungberg. Trying to Use the pace of Henry again. Stam in the right place this time. Bosnich under pressure. Nicky Butt. Beckham with a layoff, first time for Europe, who gets it back to him. Cole in the box. And another loud appeal from the fans behind that goal as Keane made the challenge. Confident football from Arsenal. Ljungberg caught in possession. And now that's an interesting decision for Mr. Durkin. Grimondi with a quite deliberate foul on Dwight York. Free kick certainly, and a card certainly.
There's no doubt it was a foul, there's no doubt it's a card. Yellow, says Mr. Durkin. Grimondi knew exactly what he was doing because Dwight York just played into the space behind, and I think he was going clear.
First portion of the game for the Frenchman Gilles Grimondi. Ball into the box, touched away from danger for the moment, but Neville beaten to it by Winterberg. Conceded by Martin Keown.
Well, the last corner from Beckham caused a big problem. Dwight York totally unmarked, got in the header, which almost results in a goal for Andy Cole. Let's see if the delivery is as good as the last one. Normally is from Beckham.
I think it was Grimondi who got it away this time. Once again, an Arsenal head that reached it first.
Yes, it was Martin Keown with a good header.
Ljungberg. And with Beckham on the field, any free kick in this sort of position has to be a danger. Ryan Giggs provides the option. Did late, but not enough for David Beckham.
Got good power, reasonable accuracy, but never troubles Seaman. I think from that kind of distance, all of 35 yards has got to be something really special for Beckham to beat his England colleague.
Beckham hasn't actually scored in the Premiership since the match which clinched the title here against Tottenham Hotspur on the final day of last season. Now, needs a bit of help here, and Hughes has taken it from him.
I think his first intentions were to give it back to Bosnich, then suddenly remembered what happened over in Brazil.
Vieira. Good ball. Dixon. Henry well placed. Silvestre got there ahead of him. Owen's clearance under pressure. Who's there again to pick up the pieces in midfield, but the man of the half for me, Patrick Vieira. Given away by Parler though. Beckham. Cultured little layoff to Nicky Butt. Now Cole. And back it goes to Nicky Butt. Danger here. Great save. Comes out to Giggs. Oh dear. Ryan Giggs scratches his head and wonders how United didn't draw level then.
Well, that was a great break from United. Butt almost scored, but once again, a brilliant save from the goalkeeper, Seaman. Butt thinks he scored. He comes inside Keown. what a save that is, but this is a great chance. It'll go down as a bad miss, but I think that if Giggs gets this on target, Seaman makes the save. You can see his fullback Winterburn comes across to give cover. He should have got it on target, Giggs, but I think if he'd been on target, I'm sure Seaman would have saved it.
Well, injuries prevented David Seaman from playing in the last 2 games against Manchester United. His presence, that quality of goalkeeping, so important to Arsenal here tonight. Could have seen their lead wiped out in the final seconds of the half. Nicky Butt. Given away again. Hughes now for Arsenal. Henry. Hughes. Winterburn goes all the way back to Gramondi under pressure from Dwight York.
He dropped off well, Gramondi. Realised that he was in a little bit of trouble, gave a little bit of depth. He was able just to play the ball back to him without a problem.
And then a disappointing ball by Gary Neville. The sanctuary of the dressing room and a 1-goal half-time lead. Only moments away for Arsenal. There's the whistle, and Frederick Ljungberg's goal sees Arsenal go in with a 1-goal lead. It could easily have been 2 if Thierry Henry had converted his chance. Mind you, Manchester United could have been level as well. Bosnich made a couple of great saves, so too did David Seaman. We reach half-time with a scoreline of Manchester United 0, Arsenal 1.
Good half, we knew it would be good. Andy's thoughts when we come back. Old Trafford the stage tonight for the Monday night football. Arsenal in front. Freddie Ljungberg's goal separates the teams. Terrific half and plenty more to come yet, I'm delighted to say. We've got some live boxing tonight, too. Scott Harrison for the Commonwealth Featherweight title. That's 2 title fights tonight, 10 o'clock, over on Sky Sports 2. Well, Alex Ferguson said he thought that Arsenal were the challengers or were likely to be this season. We've seen 45 minutes why perhaps he felt that way. Towards the end of the half, rearguard action. Opening 15 minutes, they were flying, weren't they? It's been terrific stuff, Andy, hasn't it? We've got some live boxing tonight. 2 live title fights. Michael Aldis defends his British super bantamweight title against Sean Anderson, and that's followed by Patrick Mullins against Scott Harrison for the Commonwealth Featherweight title. That's 2 title fights tonight, 10 o'clock, over on Sky Sports 2. Well, Alex Ferguson said he thought that Arsenal were the challengers or were likely to be this season. We've seen 45 minutes why perhaps he felt that way. Towards the end of the half, rearguard action. Opening 15 minutes, they were flying, weren't they? It's been terrific stuff, Andy, hasn't it?
I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought United took an awful long time to get started. 25 minutes, they didn't get close to anyone in midfield, Richard. They were given Petit and Vieira and Parler and Stephen Hughes so much time to play. Suddenly Roy Keane decided, I'm going to kick a few, I need to get my team going. My goodness, he did. And United had a great response in the last 20 minutes.
Ljungberg was a real jack in the box in that opening spell, wasn't he? No surprise, really, the goal, was it?
Well, I talked about him, didn't I? I said he would try and play in an area where he could get free and get the ball. But he actually played further up top than this. You see, you can see him here, he's right up against Yap Stam looking for the flick on. Stam's a little unlucky. That sits up horribly and it's a little bit too close to him. And what he decides to do is he decides to try and hook it over his head and get it cleared. But I tell you what, he's pretty brave, Ljungberg, and that was a super finish as Bosnich right on his face.
Scoring against Manchester United. That's 3 in 3 against United in recent league matches. Goalkeepers have distinguished themselves too, haven't they? Bosnich,
two great saves. Two great saves. This might be the save that influences the match more than any. Mark Bosnich, much maligned in many ways, Richard. Again, it's the little-headed flick, a little bit square here, but look how far opposite side of the pitch. I think he maybe should have been round a little bit, Gary Neville, on the cover to help Silvestre, because once he's clear, he's never catching him. And you think, can he do it? Can he put them two up? Brilliant save. We've often seen Schmeichel over the years do this. Look how big he stands, Bosnich. He stands. I wondered whether he would try and just take it round him and slot it in with his pace. He opts to slide it. That's a brilliant save. Absolutely brilliant stop from the goalkeeper.
The other end, David Seaman kept Arsenal in it as half-time approached.
Yeah, I thought they'd worked really hard, Manchester United, to try and get this. And, well, he hasn't had a lot to do, David, but when called upon, United's best move of the match, Nicky Butts, just a toe poke, but he thinks it's enough. And as it drops out to Ryan Giggs, he can't hit the target, but Butts was the genuine chance, and Siemens was another great save.
A lot of work going on the pitch as we speak, putting divots back. Hasn't fizzed the ball, has it, as you might expect, but for the most part it stood up to a wonderful 45 minutes. Arsenal lead by 1-0 at Old Trafford. The second half, of course, comes next. Days now to Tyson, his first fight in the UK against the British heavyweight champion Julius Francis. Saturday night, 9 o'clock, remember, live only on Sky Box Office. For more information, the number is 0990 800 888, 0990 800 888. If you're watching on Sky Digital, check out page 770 for details, channel 770. This Saturday night, Tyson. Tonight, we're at Old Trafford. If you're interactive, if you have Sky Digital, you've enjoyed player cam through that first 45 minutes. Roy Keane started it all off. We'll be with Freddie Ljungberg for the first 15 minutes of the second half. His goal separates the two teams tonight. The two penalty shouts as well, Andy. Were either of them valid?
I think the first one was. I think if Trevor thought the second one was, then the league, the Football League, must play a different set of rules. I thought it would have been extremely harsh. But I can see exactly what Trevor meant first half. Keep your eyes on these two down here. Not a problem. Suddenly Giggs thinks I'm going to get in front of Martin Keown. Keown sees his second best. Out comes the arm. Shirt gets pulled back.
It's a penalty at Newcastle, wasn't it?
Very much so, for less contact than that against Duncan Ferguson. The second one, I don't think so. Look where the referee is anyway. He's going to be looking at Gilles Grimondi's back first and foremost. So it's well nigh impossible. But I think as it comes over, you'd be more alarmed about the marking. But as Cole smashes it, it's just going to rebound straight at Grimondi. He really doesn't know an awful lot about it. It's off the chest, I think. It's close, but it's off the chest. I think the referee got that one right.
And that's one that Peter Schmeichel made earlier.
That's better.
Yeah.
Proper goalies, Jim.
Let's go back to Old Trafford and rejoin Trevor Francis and Alan Parry.
Thanks, Richard. A second change of jersey in the evening for Mark Bosnich, but it's certainly not prevented him performing wonders in that Manchester United goal, except perhaps in the balls of his feet. Manchester United have failed to score only once in the Premiership this season. That was in that 5-0 defeat at Chelsea. They've already got 50 goals in the league, 21 more than they scored in the corresponding stage of last season. So you always expect United to be capable of getting a goal. However, Arsenal have defended exceptionally well for most of the evening and attacked well, as they are doing straight away here. A really important 45 minutes in the Premiership season coming up. Here's Grimondi. Hughes, who's been a bit of a peripheral figure really out there on the left. In fairness to him, hasn't started in the Arsenal first team for a year now, and strangely enough, his last start was in the corresponding match here last season. Now Cole with a chance, but it just dropped the wrong side of him. Dixon's clearance.
Yes, you felt that Keane lost that ball. Just for one split second, Andy Cole took his eye off it. Otherwise, that possibly could have been a chance.
Irwin. And a foul by Cole on Martin Keown. Touching it on, and Henry has forced the error by Silvestre, which has given Arsenal their first corner of the half. Booze for Petit as he comes across to take it at this end of the field, where most of the more fanatical United fans are gathered, perhaps. And Bosnich went to try and claim it, and it's cleared off the line by Irwin. Two Arsenal men lying injured as a result of that collision.
It's a great ball in from Petit, swinging in with his left foot. Bosnich comes for it, certainly gets contact. Well, that's what I was looking at closely. Did it go over the line? Quite clearly not. A vital clearance from Dennis Irwin.
Patrick Vieira, who was the closest Arsenal player to that incident, certainly threw his hands up and claimed that the ball had crossed the line, but he would, wouldn't he? Well, Arsenal is set by injury problems at the moment. They don't want another one. Henry, the man in the biggest trouble there. I think it was his own player, Grimandi, that caused the damage, with a little help from Bosnich inadvertently.
Well, if you see that again, Bosnich doesn't make contact. It's actually Henry who goes up and handles the ball. So if the referee had seen that, surely he should give a free kick for Manchester United.
Henry heavily winded in that collision. Something like 12.5 stone of Grimandi falling on him, no wonder.
It appears that Dixon is about to take a throw-in when Henry is recovered. So therefore, nothing was given from Mr. Durkin. I'm convinced I saw Henry's arm come up and handle it.
Henry's had to go off the field for the moment. And the very last thing that they need is to lose him, of course, because he's just about the only remaining recognised striker they've got left. Harler's cross. He might have been there, Henry, in the normal run of things, but it was an easy catch for Bosnich this time. Henry being led around the pitch, and in fact he's now being weighed back on as Andy Cole threatens Grimondi's clearance. Neville, Beckham. Long ball for Dwight York. Roy Keane ahead of him. It goes back to David Beckham. Neville again. Should be David Seaman's, quite comfortable. And still breathing heavily after that collision. A mistake by Silvestre gives the Frenchman the ball. Wingberg. Silvestre recovered well. Ekibak with a determined challenge. Now Roy Keane. Neville, Hughes closes him down instantly this time. Better kick by Bosnich again. Keane. Silvestre. Hit early for Andy Cole. Keown the defender. Arsenal players claiming that was handball by Cole. But Winterburn with a simple clearance to Hughes. Vieira. Now Petit. Knew instinctively where Dixon was going to be. And that's a good ball to Henry, the layoff for Parla. And so in a little bit fortunate that went to Silvestre. Petit. Keane. Henry's lost his marker, but Silvestre covered well. Now Giggs. Beckham. Cole to the right. Well, what a good interception that was by Winterburn, and it's opened up a counter-attack here for Arsenal. Henry. Ljungberg.
This is what Arsenal are doing well, Alan. They're keeping possession much better than Manchester United. They're prepared to keep a hold of it, got the confidence to pass it around, and they're making Manchester United do the chasing.
Great run here by Parla, and he's still going. Another shout for handball that's gone unheeded from Mr. Durkin. Beckham. Difficult ball, that really, for Dwight York. And the frustration mounts for Sir Alex Ferguson and one or two of his players tonight. It's a deserved lead for Arsenal, but a flimsy one still.
Well, there's still plenty of time yet to get the goal back. What they can't afford to do is go 2 goals behind. But the difference between the two sides, as I mentioned prior to the game, are the benches. Manchester United got plenty of strength on the bench if they need to change.
Cole is offside here. Well, we've got to rephrase that. I'm not sure Cole was offside, but he was certainly given offside. Touching it on. Silvestre had to knock that out. Henry was a quick customer. You don't want to make mistakes against him, as Yapstam found to his cost in the first half. Parla doing well to keep it in.
What a fantastic ball that was from Parla. Tight to the corner flag, got his foot around it. Couldn't have done any more with that.
Nigel Winterburn. Stephen Hughes. Keane has it back for United. Good tackle again. Raimondi has quietly gone about his job in excellent fashion tonight, and there's a good ball for Henry. Well, once we're praising defenders, you've got to give Silvestre credit then.
Once again, Henry times his run. He's asking for the ball to be put in behind Stam. But fortunately for United, Silvestre is quick himself, gets back to dispossess him. The well-timed tackle.
Silvestre's first game against Arsenal as Winterburn plays it in. To Manchester United.
Yeah, shouts went up from the Arsenal supporters for a penalty, but quite clearly Henry turns his defender. And Mr. Durkin rightly gives the free kick to United.
Gary Neville in possession for them. But well, Dixon did brilliantly then. That was always going to be a dangerous ball, but he got the exact right amount of power on the header. The 750th game of Lee Dixon's career tonight. Fantastic record, and most of them at the top level. Again. Arsenal's throw. There's been a little confrontation between Messrs. Silvestre and Ljungberg, which Mr. Durkin spotted. Calm down, is his advice. much time over this throw. Now they've got a corner out of it.
What they're getting angry with, Alan, was that the fourth official down in front of us here, Mr. Mike Reid, threw the ball not to the Arsenal player but onto the field. And they were suggesting that he was wasting unnecessary time.
Making a run near the penalty spot here. It's gone over his head. And evaded everyone, including Ljungberg on the far post.
Well, the corner from Petit hit deep. Nobody picks Ljungberg up. He starts his box. Anticipates that the ball is going to go to the back stick and almost gets on the end of it.
Well, no doubt David O'Leary, both as a former Arsenal player and as the current Leeds manager, would love to see Arsenal winning this one. David Beckham. Cleared by Petit to Winterburn. Henry's header. Hughes has given it away. Roy Keane. Sylvester angles one out to Beckham. Well, that's a goal kick. The official attendance here at Old Trafford tonight, 58,293, the highest crowd that has ever attended a match in Premiership history. Dennis Irwin, now Andy Cole, Giggs on the left. Dwight York already inside the penalty area. They've almost found him. David Seaman has been at his most assured in the Arsenal goal tonight. Parler. Ljungberg trying to lose Jaap Stam. Has done so. Oh, but that ball was loose. Beckham keeps it in play. Cole on the far post, but it was never going to reach him.
Well, Beckham's complaining that one of his teammates didn't get across the front of Seaman. I don't think it was the best ball. It was a great run from Beckham. It was a brilliant interception from Ljungberg. But the ball from Beckham is not what we come to expect from him.
Good play then by Henry. Now Petit. Hughes to his left. Winterburn hesitated, but gets the throw. Succeeding in keeping the ball in the United half, and with coming up to an hour completed, also succeeding in holding on to their lead here. And they get a free kick. And a little bit of silliness there by Hughes. Beckham, an innocent party on this occasion for sure. Maybe not that innocent.
Well, that challenge there from Beckham was about twice as high as the one he got sent off for in Brazil.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Easy catch for Bosnich. Winterburn across quickly, and he's even kept the ball in play. A quick reminder to Sky digital viewers that if you're watching on Sky Sports Extra, the player cam for the next 15 minutes will be following United's Andy Cole. United have given it away again. Wenger goes gleefully forward. Henry to his left. Who's on the left? Dixon. Returns it to Ray Parlour. Picks it off again in the middle of the field, but Nicky Butler's determined this time. Hughes. Beckham races back to try and win it off him, and there's a little bit of unpleasantness clearly between those two at the moment. Arsenal career was over earlier this season when he was loaned out to Fulham. Came back, lost weight, got his head down, more determined, got his chance tonight. He helped to create that moment of danger for United. Beckham looking for Dwight York. That was surely a foul, and although goodness knows how many thousands on that side would disagree, the linesman has indicated that.
Well, Mr. Durkin looked at that very, very closely. He was happy to allow play to continue, but he gave the free kick, and his assistant raises his flag. I suppose you can say that he was closest to it. That man there has given the free kick. And I think he was right. Dwight York definitely used his body to turn the defender.
Giggs and York ahead of him. Keane arriving from midfield. And Arsenal have got 10 men behind the ball. Winterburn sticking tight to David Beckham.
We've spoken all evening about the two French lads, Petit and Vieira, with their quality in possession of the ball. But what they're also doing well is they're giving a great protection just in front of the back four. Every time now that United get possession, they're just dropping back and just blocking the way for the ball to be played into the two front lads of Cole and York. They're doing an excellent job. There we go.
Another fine challenge by Parlour, and Petit brings it away with pace and power. Runs into trouble. Giggs for Manchester United. And the offside flag has gone up again. Right, York. Manchester United are about to bring on Teddy Sheringham. Henry touches it through, no problem for Bosnich. I understand that Andy Cole is the player that's likely to be replaced. So this might be his final contribution. Keane. Now Beckham. Giggs far side, won the header well. Vieira, immense he's been tonight. Foul there by Keane, who reacts angrily and would do well to just rule it there. And straight into Mr. Durkin. I think that was an accident. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
I'm glad Mr. Durkin's got good upper body strength, otherwise he may have gone to the floor.
temper from Roy Keane. A moment of frustration for Andy Cole. He's taken off, I can assure you. Our camera won't be following him into the dressing room. Our player cam will now switch instead to Dwight York. Nicky Butt. Interception by Grimandi, who's done that so often tonight. Winterberg. So often Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sent on as the man to try and rescue a situation for Manchester United. Tonight, it's Teddy Sheringham given that role. And Beckham had his cross charged down. Sylvester in the right place and Nicky Butt in space. And you can hear the growing frustration from the Manchester United fans. Keogh. Parler, awkward ball for him. It's come out to Irwin. Only there again. Hughes. Neville takes it off him. Keane going in hard. Now Teddy Sheringham. Nicky Butt. What a great block by Keogh. There's a great shout for handball again from the United fans. Stan. Beckham. Now Neville. Keane's shot was on its way. Grimandi, I'm not sure how much he knew about it, got in the way.
Well, we've just seen two of the best bits of defending we're going to see all night, Alan. Two brilliant blocks, one from Keown and one from Grimandi. Absolutely top-class defending.
And Dwight York has given it away now. Dixon knew he couldn't risk the back pass. In goes Roy Keane. And in goes Dixon second time, and he's very unhappy. He feels that the first challenge should have led to a free kick. United finding an extra gear. Dwight York. Ryan Giggs. Come out again to York. Can do the best job with it this time. Henry. Wonderful control by the young Frenchman. Can't say that of Hughes. That was a terrible ball. Straight to Keane. Neville. Teddy Sheringham. Here's Keane. It's a good return. York. Sheringham. Another great challenge by Grimandi. Just did enough to stop Sheringham getting a clean shot.
That was great play again from United. Sheringham at the centre of it. Lovely 1-2 with York.
The mood of the crowd has changed. And Manchester United enjoying a little spell of domination here. But now Arsenal have a free kick and they still have their lead. Arsenal are going to make a change as well now. Perhaps that error by Hughes a few moments ago was one mistake too much for Arsène Wenger. Hughes is going to be replaced by the German Stefan Moltz, who started both the recent FA Cup ties against Leicester, but has only had a couple of Premiership appearances this season as a substitute. Straight replacement, he'll go in quite happily on that left flank. 20 minutes to go. And Manchester United trailing 1-0 to an Arsenal team without Adams, Bergkamp, Overmars, Kanu, Suker.
Well, I can't understand why Stam headed that ball. Whether he had a shout or not, perhaps he didn't hear it in this noise. But certainly should let it go through.
And Ljungberg with a chance here. It's a corner. It could so easily have been a second Arsenal goal.
And that all started because the ball wasn't allowed to go through the Bosnich. If Stam had left it, this wouldn't have been a problem. But what a good chance that is. I can only assume that Silvestri just gets a touch to it. Otherwise, Ljungberg would have got his second goal. Let's have a look at this. There we are. Just gets his foot there in time.
Arsenal corner. Both Grimandi and then Ljungberg must have been well, no more than a foot away from making contact.
And once again, Ljungberg is the nearest to it. It just comes around the back.
Well, whatever happens, you have to say this has so far been an excellent performance by an understrength Arsenal. Rimondi, Ljungberg, Parler, now Petit. Good ball too, or almost giving the first touch to the substitute, but Yapstam was a bit quicker. Osnic spaced his clearance and got away with it. Sheringham, good challenge by Petit. Says, look, I've got no one to play it to here. He's run into trouble and was very relieved to hear the whistle go. Foul by Beckham.
Yes, I think he was looking for movement up front. The lone striker was Henry. He was looking for a little bit of help from him.
Just got the touch onto that. Petit, excellent. Yeah. Loose ball by Parler. What can United make of that? Roy Keane looking for Giggs in behind Parler. Sheringham and York, far side of the penalty area. Great save, Beckham takes it back in. Teddy Sheringham provides the equaliser for Manchester United.
What a ball from Ryan Giggs. Under pressure from Lee Dixon. Stands it up in the back post. Initially it was Roy Keane who plays him in, but Giggs does brilliant here. Back post, Seaman gets a touch. Beckham puts it back in the danger area. And who's in the right spot at the right moment? Teddy Sheringham. He does it so often. He's never going to miss that, is he? 3 yards out, but he's there. And that's the important factor. He's in the right position when needed.
Only Sheringham's second goal in 22 appearances this season. Game on now. It's been terrific so far. The finale could be even better. The Arsenal defenders thought that they were going to get an offside decision when Sheringham put that ball in the net, but they were wrong. And it's boiling up a little now. Few candidates for the Man of the Match award, that's for sure. 09009, 11, 22, 33. It's your call. Literally. First half, which you always felt somehow could have a crucial effect on this game. Certainly has now. Here's Parler. Ljungberg. You wouldn't rule out Arsenal getting another for all that. They played well enough tonight. Parler in space here. Couldn't pick him out.
Oh, he made up some ground, Ray Parler, but Ljungberg just overhit the pass.
Quarter of an hour to go. The match back in the balance. Ryan Giggs. Patrick Vieira back to cover. Petit, Dixon, Vieira again. Petit, excellent. With the pressure on Arsenal now, especially with that back pass. David Seaman did really well.
The difference now, Alan, is that Manchester United are pressing the ball so much better than what they did in the first half.
Immediate difference, quite apart from his goal.
What he's doing well is he's just dropping back into that little hole like Ljungberg did in that first half. It doesn't present a problem to the opposition, and that's what he's done since he's come on.
Parler with a good ball though. Fine challenge by Sylvester, and again Keane.
claim here for offside, but it can't possibly be offside. Seaman gets a touch. Beckham does well. Well, what they're claiming there is possibly Dwight York offside. Let's let it run. Well, Dwight York may be offside, but once again, was he interfering? Not for me.
Arsenal visibly tiring now in the later stages of this game. Of course, a much tougher programme in recent weeks than United, including that energy-sapping FA Cup tie against Leicester, which went to extra time and penalties. Free kick taken too quickly there. Manchester United, even allowing for their participation in the tournament in Brazil, have had a decent break since they came back. Maybe that will be a crucial factor in the closing stages. Henry, cleared by Owen. Dixon. Well played, Parler. Ljungberg and Henry in the box. Hesitated a little too long, perhaps, and then committed the foul on Ryan Giggs. Should it finish a draw tonight, United would remain second on goal difference, Arsenal third. They'd both be 3 points behind Leeds United. 12 minutes to go here. Anything could happen still.
Seaman trying to push them out, they're dropping deep.
Beckham lifts the free kick. And Vieira gets it away, but United picking up that second ball all the time now. Arsenal happy to get a goal kick and take a breather. Fourth season in charge, and Arsenal have been third, first and second in the previous three. Dwight York, Nicky Butt. Keane has slipped, recovered brilliantly.
What a recovery that was. As Nicky Butt was about to go clear. You see the ball almost played through. Keane makes a mistake, and then that's a brilliant recovery. Stop Nicky Butt from going clear.
Keane's one of many towering performances by Arsenal tonight. United have played a lot better in this second half. Minutes to go in this crucial Premiership fixture at Old Trafford, and they're level. Beckham's header, Dwight York. Beckham again, Giggs on the far post. Confusion in front of him as Roy Keane came in, but they've got a corner out of it.
What a great diagonal that was from Silvestri. All of 60 yards he's hit that. Testing Winterburn, Beckham got up above him, just nodding it down into the path of Dwight York. Received a return and played a real telling ball into the box.
Pressure mounts now on the Gunners. David Seaman has poured it away. It was enough for the moment anyway. Owen gets it back then. Now Neville. Should be Keown's. Keane, Giggs. Gets it back. And again. apologising this time. Now Petit. Dixon. And it seems now that every Arsenal clearance lands at the feet of a United player.
Good referee in that. I think Dennis Irwin lost possession. He knew he was going out for a throw-in. Just fell to the floor, and Mr. Durkin was quick to spot it. It's all United, isn't it, Alan? They can't get the ball now, Arsenal. They've got a real surge on United.
Here's Irwin. Beckham. Much more like Manchester United we all know. Neville. Winterburn gets it clear. And there's a break here. Well, he's all on his own at the moment, Ljungberg. Henry sprinting forward in support. We've also got Maltz unmarked out on the left, and Parler, annoyingly for him, gives it away. Owen. Chance for Arsenal to recover a little. They've been under some pressure in the last 10 minutes or so. It looked so long as if the famous cry 1-0 to the Arsenal was going to come true. But Manchester United's equaliser has set us up with a terrific finish here. And Arsenal defending in the best possible way in the United half at the moment. But now a break for Roy Keane. Teddy Sheringham. Winterburn's interception. Now Patrick Vieira. This is Ljungberg. Keane. He was forced into that. Both Sheringham and Dwight York closing him down instantly. Unusual miss kick by Irwin. Oof. Oh, dear, dear. He went in a bit high there, Roy Keane. A couple of weeks ago, that probably would have produced a card. We've only had one caution in the game, and how much better the game is for it. Keown's clearance. This kick by Nicky Budd. He was fortunate it went to Neville, who was giving it away anyway. Keown with one over the top for Henry. And Ljungberg, he's done well here, and back again to Ljungberg, and now Ray Parler.
Excellent tracking back again from Roy Keane. He knew his team were in trouble, quickly gets back. Between him and Dennis Irwin, they quickly get a closing down job on Ray Parler because they'd been opened up by the front two of Arsenal. There's Keane. I think it eventually comes off Irwin. Excellent covering by Roy Keane.
Arsenal corner. Bosnich with a simple catch. Good throw. Arsenal got a second win by the looks of things. A rare mistake by Vieira. And he's made up for it. Didn't like the challenge. Mr. Durkin saw nothing wrong. Neville into the last 5 minutes then. Patrick Vieira. He was caught there by the challenge by Sheringham. The referee spotted it, but has allowed play to go on with Arsenal in possession with Petit. Henry. Maltz. between Vieira and Sheringham. They've been involved in a questionable incident just before that. And Mr. Durkin is going to check with his linesman to see if he had a better view of what really happened.
Let's see if we can clear this up. I don't think there's absolutely nothing in that. And I think that unless we see it on a different angle, I think Vieira is a little bit unfortunate if anything goes against him. Mr. Durkin given the drop ball. But in that case, he should have blown up, should he? Because there's nothing to give.
Meantime, Phil Neville has come on in place of Dennis Irwin for the last few minutes, which keeps intact Phil Neville's record of having figured in, well, almost all bar one, in fact, Premiership match for United this season. The drop ball has gone in United's favour here. Ryan Giggs. Dixon blocked the cross, and it was important he did, and that's an Arsenal throw. Great determination in the later stages here by Manchester United to win this. Having saved so far a point, they now sense that they could take all three. Yapstam on a great run. Wins the corner. Into the final 2 minutes. Neville. Just under the roof of the net from United's giant centre-back.
Yeah, well-worked corner from United. They all thought it was coming in long from Beckham. He spots Neville just outside the box. Plays a little diagonal. Stam gets up above them. Doesn't trouble Seaman.
No, sit down, Sir Alex.
I think that header from Alex would have gone in.
Into the last minute, and I'm quite sure that if you'd offered Arsenal a point at 8 o'clock tonight, they would have accepted it quite happily, given the team they were forced to field with so many top-level absentees.
I think at 25-9, when Henry was clear to make it 2-0, I think United would have taken a point then.
Here's Petit. Keane, offside. And the fourth official is about to indicate to us how much stoppage time will be played eventually. Go on, Mr. Reid. They're waiting. It's going to be 4, obviously.
They're not easy to work, those things, you know.
Have you done it?
Well, I just see the difficulty they have every Saturday with them.
You know, sometimes technology can be, well, can defeat the object. 4 minutes it is, though. And that's not what you wanted to see, probably, if you're an Arsenal fan. Shout for handball against Winterburn, but it was whacked against him from close range. It's only a throw. Gary Neville backs away to get as much distance as he can. Sheringham's layoff, straight back to him. They keep up going in. Keane with an important clearance.
He's headed enough balls tonight, hasn't he, Keane? Him and Gramondi have been excellent at the back.
They've got to continue to be excellent for another few minutes yet. Ljungberg clearing his lines this time. Bosnich's kick to find the intended target. It's gone to Ljungberg, who's got Henry up with him. He had to hold and didn't do so long enough. He's offside. Goes down under the challenge from Winterburn, nothing given. And Beckham wins it back. Neville. Keown had to reach that. Dwight York perfectly placed.
Silly free kick with just a minute and a half left for Henry to give away, because you know where this is going to go. It's going to go straight back into the penalty area. Well, it should do. Perhaps from a different angle.
Gary Neville. Cleared by Winterburn. Is there to be one final moment of drama here? Roy Keane. Vieira gets it away. Henry will keep chasing here. Silvestre finds Phil Neville. Vieira wins it back. Giggs typically back chasing and then showing brilliant technique and a great ball as well. York couldn't get it under control quick enough. Vieira could. That's brilliant by Patrick Vieira. Ljungberg looking for Henry round the back, and he finally gets it off Silvestre. He knew what he was doing. Corner quite enough for him at this stage. Quite right.
Well, he was bright there, wasn't he, Henry? Silvestre showed just a little bit too much of the ball to him, quickly onto it, and then eases the pressure from his team by winning a corner. That's exactly where Arsenal want to be with 30 seconds left. Down in the bottom corner. I'd imagine they'll go short, unless they've still got ambitions to win it.
It looks as though they have. Mr. T clips it in, and the header across the face of goal by Grimaldi. Kept in by Henry. It's more than that. Well, he goes down, claims a free kick. Mr. Durkin says no, glances at his watch because they're almost there now. Arsenal seconds away from what would be a very, very valuable point for them, especially in the circumstances. And that's what they've earned here tonight at Old Trafford. Teddy Sheringham's goal has ensured that they haven't got all 3 points, but in view of the understrength team that Arsenal have come to Old Trafford with tonight, I think they'll be very happy at a draw. Whether Ljungberg giving them the lead in the first half, Thierry Henry might have added to it. There were some excellent saves by both David Seaman and Mark Bosnich. A high-quality game, exactly as you would expect from these two. A draw means that Manchester United remain above Arsenal on goal difference in second place. Arsenal third. They're both now 3 points behind the leaders, Leeds United. Crucially, of course, Manchester United have games in hand, and their return to Premiership football has not brought the victory that many expected, but still, I think, over the balance of play, a just result here at Old Trafford tonight in front of the Premiership's biggest ever crowd. The final score, Manchester United 1, Arsenal 1.
It was good stuff, really good stuff at Old Trafford tonight, and there's plenty of good sport still to come from Sky Sports. 2 live title fights over on Sky Sports 2 now. Tennis, Michael Aldis defends his British Super Bantamweight title against Sean Anderson. That's first up. And Patrick Mullins defends his Commonwealth Featherweight title against Scott Harrison. For Sky Digital viewers, coming up on Sky Sports Extra at 10:30, there's more wrestling, WWF Classics. And from 3:30 tomorrow morning, there's cricket. India against Pakistan. That's tomorrow morning. And of course you can keep up to date with all the football news on our 24-hour news channel Sky Sports News now. Next we're followed by the Sports Centre. All today's top stories and more, 10:30, and our football phone, of course, follows at 10:45. You're on Sky Sports with Rob McCaffrey. Clever that, isn't it? Where does it go? 1-1 at Old Trafford. Terrific match, and his thoughts and all the reaction comes next.